Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a beautiful Monday morning. You are here with us for the Witty Writers Show, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Woo woo! I'm Beth Worsdell, author, and I am here with the absolutely fabulous Carla Vonzale Lewis. Hello!
Hi!
I've been so looking forward to this, Carla, because you
How have I?
We've been friends for a good few years now, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I just want to let everybody know because I feel so blessed to have you in my life because you're an amazing lady.
Oh, thank you.
A mind-blowing author because I've read your work and you're such an amazing storyteller.
Oh,
Honestly,
thank you.
I love your books. But we actually connected because I queried you when I first started out all them years ago. I mean, we're talking a good 4 or 5 years ago now.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And we just connected and we've been friends ever since. I think it was fate.
Yes.
I think it was fate. But you're here today to tell us about your fantastic new novel, Zealot. And oh my God, I've been so excited because I devoured Lineage, your first book. I devoured it. I could not put it down. And when I realized it was going to be a year for your next one, because I mean, they're quite intricate books, I was like chomping at the bit. I couldn't wait.
Zealot came out in 2019, so it's been a while.
But do you know what? I'm glad you're not the type of author that just rushes and pumps it out just to please everybody. Because I mean, when I read Lineage, I could tell how much time and thought and research you put in to your book. And it honestly, it would make an amazing movie. I would love to see it on the big screen. I enjoyed it that much. I've done nothing but rave about it. We've got lots of people joining us. So hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So pop in the comments and say hello. No, wrong side. There we go. So say hello to us. We'd love to pop your comment on.
Hi, Marlena, Heather, Candace, Kelly.
We got loads of people. Let's put them on. Let's say hello. Okay, we got Marlena Frank, who's another amazing author.
Oh my gosh, she's the best horror author, I swear.
Isn't she? She says, Carla is an amazing person and her work is wonderful. I agree.
Thank you, Marlena. That's so sweet. And so is yours.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to get her back on the show again soon. She was absolutely brilliant. We've got Heather Skinner. She says, hi to you both from Gemma and I.
Hello, Heather.
Hi, Gemma. Gemma's so little. Bless her. I love her. A big kiss. And Heather actually has her own book club, and they read and review books online on Facebook, and she's on YouTube as well. She's fantastic. She does brilliant work. So hello to you. We've also got the wonderful Candace.
Oh my gosh, I love Candace. Hi, Candace.
Look, have you seen her profile picture? I love it.
Yes.
She's so awesome. She is so awesome. We've also got fabulous Kelly.
Oh, yes. Kelly's in book club with me, and the waiting was hard. Kelly's actually read Zealot, though.
Oh, she has. Oh,
yeah.
We'll get lots of feedback from her then. She said the waiting was hard. I know, right? I know. Candice says you do such amazing research.
Thank you. I love doing research, though.
And it shows. It really, really does. We got the fabulous James who's joined us. He says, hello,
Beth. James.
He says, sorry, I'm late. You're all good, James. We've literally just started, and it's a pleasure to see you always. You are awesome. Kelly, send a little heart for you. We've also got the wonderful, where is she? I've just lost her.
I saw Wendy.
Wendy, there we go. I was trying to find her.
Hi, Wendy.
Hello, ladies. Hello, darling. Kelly says, I wasn't going to tell.
Hey, spoil away, honey. Spoil away.
We've got Elle as well, the fabulous Elle.
Love me some Elle Beaumont. Hello, beautiful. You know what? I'm sorry. Wasn't Elle supposed to be on this live too?
She can hop on.
We had so much fun when we did
Oh
Beyond the
my
Talks.
God,
Yeah.
didn't we? She says,
So much
hello,
fun.
beautiful lady. She's another fabulous author. In fact, I'm glad Elle's joined us because I wanted to give a quick mention to the fantastic anthology that you did with Elle. And it was absolutely brilliant. Another book that I struggled to put down. I literally read it on vacation, as you know, and I just absolutely loved it. So everybody needs to check that out as well. Let's have a look. We've also got the wonderful Theodore. Hello, Theodore. He says,
hi, Theodore.
Thank you for joining us. Elle says, I agree. Carla puts her
heart. Oh, now I'm going to cry and get all emotional.
I know. It's so lovely. We've also got the wonderful Josephine
Hi, Josephine.
From the UK. I told her all about your books as well, I have to say. Elle sends in lots of smiley faces, bless her. She's so sweet. She says, excuse me, but not right now. I'm in my jammies.
Hey, I'm wearing jammy bottoms. So
there we go. What goes on online stays there. We don't mind. We don't mind. And she says, oh, thanks, Beth. Oh, now, as I said, everybody who's watching, if you've got any questions for Carla, just put them in the comments and we'll pop them up. And so Carla can tell you a bit more about her fabulous stories. Sorry, I've just got to put this on because Elle says,
I saw that. Business up top. You got that right.
But do you know what? It's a sign of the times. I think everybody does it, don't they? You know, they look good from there downwards, and then what's going on down there? Nobody knows. We've also got the fabulous Dominique.
Hi, Dominique.
And she says, hi, Beth. Bless her. Thank you for joining us, darling. Now, I want to go back to, obviously, Lineage, because that's where the whole story started. So what sparked your inspiration for Lineage?
I tell people this all the time, and it's really funny. I used to work in a call center, and never do that again. And every once in a while, you know, they'd have the big wigs come around, the big bosses, and they'd come around and they treat us to lunch and ask questions and things like that. And I was having a particularly crappy day because I was being cussed at left and right on the phone. And I sat back and I was like, I wonder what the big bosses do all day because we get yelled at. And so the thing that came to mind was they sacrificed everybody. So that's where my story was really a short story. And it was about a company that sacrificed people. And then it just grew. I was like, they must sacrifice.
Oh my
everybody.
God. Did you ever tell your bosses that what you thinking?
Absolutely not. Because they might have sacrificed me.
Oh my God. Oh, that is brilliant. Do you know what? It's one of the joys of being a writer, isn't it? The random things that just pop in your head and give you inspiration. And I get so many ideas when I'm in the shower for some reason.
Oh my gosh. When I'm trying to sleep, it's like, hello, idea.
I know. I have to make sure that my phone is literally next to me because I wake up and I think I'm too tired to type, and I just like do a voice text in my phone, and then I have to try and translate it the next day, thinking, what on earth was I thinking?
Cheese and blouse. What does cheese and blouse mean?
Exactly. There was an idea there somewhere. It's absolutely crazy. So you had this idea about a company sacrificing their employees. I think that's awesome. Considering that was your first spark for Lineage, and then having read the book, what a journey from one to the other.
Oh my gosh. And it was the first draft. In the very first draft, spoilers ahead, guys. In the very first draft, Nicole was with Devlin, but they kept telling me that was wrong. And none of them had magic. None of them, but they were dealing with an element of magic. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And so I wrote the first draft in 30 days, and no one will see that. And
she says ever.
Ever. I've hidden it. And so I sat down to write the second draft, and I was like, it doesn't make any sense why there's magic at this company, but these people don't have any magic. And that's where the research came in. And I started doing research because I wanted to base it off of the Egyptian gods, but I wanted to base it off the Egyptian gods in a sense that the Egyptian gods were based off of these other beings. So the old ones, which are the gods in my book, were the inspiration for the Egyptian gods. And that's how I looked at it. And I said, that's kind of interesting, because I always want to explain what happened before. So that's why that's where it came in. And then it just opened up.
I think it's wonderful because the way you wrote it, especially with the old gods, and it's having a true origin of where the Egyptian culture came from, their gods and everything else, it made it more realistic. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it really, really did. And I'm the same with my own, with the Earth's Angels trilogy. I
love yours. It should be a movie.
I tried to, like you, sort of make it as realistic as possible and connect the dots between ancient times and the present. And you did it flawlessly.
Thank you.
It was just absolutely brilliant. It really, really was. We got some more comments. So I'm going to quickly pop them on. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. So Candice says, I want Carla's stories to be on Netflix right now. Also, my phone is glitchy while waiting in the school line.
Yes, I want them to be on there too, Candice, for the simple reason that there's a lot of adult scenes in there, so it won't be on regular TV.
Mind you, there's a show on Netflix. My daughter said, you've got to watch the opening credits to this movie. And I was like, okay. And I knew she was filming to try and get my reaction because she's sneaky like that. And the first opening scene of this movie was all these ladies with all their bits out dancing butt naked. Like, wow. I thought, no wonder she wants to record my reaction. I was like, wow, if you got it, flaunt it. That's what I say. So you never know. You never know. Elle says, that's amazing. LOL.
Thank you, Elle.
Candice says, I can relate to that when I work.
Oh my gosh, Candice, yes.
Wendy says, Carla is a new author to me.
Oh, I hope you like my work.
Wendy, you're going to love it. Everything. Let's have a look. So Kelly says, you can make the extraordinary out of the humdrum ordinary. Oh,
and that's how life is if you really think about it.
Absolutely.
Life can kick you in the teeth.
Yes, you just can't make this shit up, can you? James says, I used to work at a call center. I heard a drug deal go down. Low lie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know what, James? I will see your drug deal go down, and I'll raise you. A guy comes on the line while he's dictating to some woman how to pleasure him. And he's like, hold on a minute. And I'm like, I'm not holding on. I was like, what?
Oh my God.
It's like, and we're hanging up on that. I was like, oh my gosh. Lord. Really? Are you that bored, sir, that you need to call the phone company to do that?
That is unbelievable. Do you know what? You do get some strange people in this world, don't you?
Yes.
Especially if you have to talk to them on the phone. And sometimes people are just downright rude because they're so brave on the other end of the phone.
Oh gosh, yes.
I think, I've had a couple of calls like that because obviously I've always been in sales and marketing. And I've thought to myself, you're speaking to me like that right now, but would you be that brave in real life?
No.
Nope.
I used to piss them off because I would just calmly talk and they're wanting to get a rise out of you, but I'm just like, oh, sure. Okay, I understand. Oh, that made them so mad.
After you've done that sort of job for a long time, nothing shocks you after a while. It really doesn't. And James went, hold on to what? That's hilarious. Well, the good news is that we've got a quiz during today's show and obviously prizes to be had. I'm super excited. And you can see behind Carla is her fantastic character pictures and copies of Lineage as well. But can we try and have a look at the cover of Zealot?
Let me see if I can pull that. Oh, look, potential spam is calling me. Probably about my car warranty.
Oh, no, it's rife at the moment, isn't it? It drives me insane.
Gosh, that's annoying.
It drives me insane. Let's have a look, and I'm going to see if I can pop it in the comments as well while you're getting it up. See, this is the joys of being an author, is you have to wait for copies to come through for you. So we are winging it right now.
Yeah, mine's on pre-order.
There we go. Look.
There's Zealot.
Look at it. I'm going to try and put it in the comments as well. Will it let me do a picture? No, it's not letting me do a picture. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Never mind. All the links for you are all available on the attachment for the video. So if you do look at the comments, etc., all Carla's links are there for her books, and you can also follow her on all her social media platforms as well. So it's all exciting. We love it. And don't forget, when you do read Lineage and Zealot, make sure you leave Carla reviews. Even if you haven't got an Amazon account, don't worry, you can do it on Goodreads and other places as well.
Yes.
Now, we have character cards for your characters, and they're absolutely stunning. So what I would like to do is I'm going to try, let me flip over to my settings, and I'm going to put an image in the top corner of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Look, he's up there. Now, this is Nicole.
Yes.
Nicole Fontane, who's your main character.
Oh, yes.
And she's quite the badass, I've got to tell you. Look, I said that American.
Yeah, she's complicated.
She certainly is. She's a complicated woman. Now, how did you come up with Nicole? Because she's quite a complex character. I mean, she, you know, her life's turned into shit, really. She's sort of estranged from her family and everything else. So she's pretty much on her own. She starts this new job, but straight away, she's one of those people, she's a bit like you and I. Straight away, she senses there's something off. There's something right here.
Nicole she's a combination of people, but her smart mouth definitely comes from me.
I love it.
I sarcasm is my friend, and so therefore I thought Nicole definitely had some sarcasm. The ability to notice things actually came from my husband, because he's really good at that. Like, he'll pick up on, like, just like, he can tell you what's going on in the neighborhood, and I'm like, well, how do you see all that? And it's like, he can tell you everything that's going on. Yeah. And so that definitely came from him. But Nicole was a combination of things, and it was kind of fun writing her because I wanted to see how she can grow. And so Lineage, she definitely at a point where she's like, okay, I got to do something with my life, but she's still not quite there. In Zealot, I just beat her up. I'm sorry. She's an emotional wreck. And so Tribe, I get to see her heal.
But I mean, what I love about Nicole is she's so realistic. I think we're either we have a bit of a Nicole in us, or we know somebody who's very much like her. That's fierce, protective. Well, excuse my doodles, they're barking again. Somebody walking their poor dog. But I mean, she's a real badass. But she's the whole package. You know, she's smart, she's witty, as you said, she's sarcastic, but not in a rude way, unless she needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, she's such a great character, and then she ends up being thrown into this world that she has no knowledge of.
Yeah, she has very limited knowledge, and finds out that was purposeful for her to have that limited knowledge. And so that's a big. Yes, Kelly. I see Kelly's comment. Absolutely.
Oh, let's have a look.
Absolutely.
Hang on.
And you see.
Oh yeah, there we go. She's vulnerable too. Yes.
You absolutely see that in Zealot. I mean, you absolutely see that vulnerability, and it was kind of tough to write her at that point. Yeah. Because I wanted her to remain true to who she is, but also recognize that she's going through a lot, and trying to deal with it might not Like she's not able to deal with it the way she would normally deal with it. Just, okay, let's pretend like that doesn't exist. It just keeps showing up and slapping her in the face. So yeah.
It's crazy. And I love the fact that she, you put so much of her emotion in it as well. So I felt like I was on her journey. And and when she's, she's feeling beaten up and mentally and physically, you feel for her. You're like, oh yeah, I'd feel like that if I'd just been through that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so let's meet. I've just changed the photograph.
Rachel
Channing.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite because she doesn't know the world that much, and it's spoiler why she doesn't know the world that much. So Kelly knows, but anyway, and Candace knows because Candace has read it. She's going to be a really crazy character to write in Mutation. Like she's innocent, but she's also extremely deadly. Like you do not want to cross Rachel. She's like a slither away from becoming crazy. Like just completely like full on, I will kill everybody. And
on the edge of being psychotic.
Yeah, she's just walking a fine line, and luckily Devlin knows how to keep her on that fine line. But she has this innocence about her as well that I love. Her favorite cartoon is SpongeBob SquarePants. So she has an innocence about her, but she's also extremely deadly. Like very loyal too. Very loyal.
Yeah. They all are though, aren't they? Pretty much. I mean, that they Nicole gets introduced to all these other people, discovers that they're magis, and she's thrown into not only this whole new world, but also all these individuals who are also different, but they're connected. They've got such a great connection between them all and a history between them all. It's just fantastic. Okay, now I'm excited about this one because this one is Jonah West.
Oh, Jonah. He plays front and center in Zealot. And you learn, like at the end of Lineage, there was a scene where Nicole glimpsed him when they were battling, and she was like, something's a little bit more than what we see with Jonah. And she glimpsed that, and she learns about it in Zealot. And Jonah's on his own redemptive journey, and I liked writing him. I loved writing him. He's wise, but he's also kind of troubled. But what kind of trouble? He is troubled, but he's wise.
The kind of trouble that we like.
Yes. And he's also a very attractive man.
Very. But I was like, oh, hello. Okay, next we have Cara Flynn.
Oh, Cara.
Fiery redhead
friend who doesn't like to curse. She will not curse. But there's a reason she doesn't curse. And it's more of a control thing. Like her life was not her own for a very long time. And one of the things that she could control was, okay, I'm not going to curse. And so she stuck to her guns with that, even though it's kind of silly, because there are times when you do have to curse, in my opinion. But that's something she can control. So she's one of those people that with everything else, she says, I have to be able to control something. So
yeah.
She's It's a spoiler to talk about her, so I'm not going to. So yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Oh, Devlin.
We've got let's have a look. Have I clicked on the wrong one? No, I've put up. Yep, Devlin. There we go. I must have missed one. There we go. So we've got Devlin Gray.
He is definitely a spoiler.
Is he?
Definitely a spoiler. Just Kelly knows, and Candace knows, but he's definitely a spoiler. I mean, I love him. Like I said, him and Nicole, they have this brother-sister kind of, I'm going to fight you kind of thing, but I love you, but I'm going to fight you kind of, relationship.
Right. Okay.
And they told me that in the first book. They were like, "Yeah, we're not supposed to be dating." I was like, "Okay."
Well, I'll play by your rules.
Yeah.
Okay, we've next got Alec.
Oh, I love Alec.
Now, how do you say his last name?
Vanduva.
Vanduva.
Yeah, Alec. Yes.
Now,
I'm not
normally attracted to dudes with long hair, especially if it's longer than mine. However, I'm looking at him thinking, yes, if he was a real man, I might be interested.
Yeah, so, him and Nicole have quite a few tense moments in Zealot. Quite a few. Yeah, I love him too.
He's a great character, though. He really, really is. And I've got to do an apology because somehow I've missed one out on my images, and that is Marta.
Marta, oh, she was damaged in book 1, and I hated that, and I kept trying to fix it, and then I would go down the wrong path, and I was like, she was damaged, and she's dealing with that damage.
Yeah. So. I'll tell you, I'm so bloody excited. Honestly, I'm so excited.
Kelly. Yeah, they did have quite a few close calls. Alec and Nicole.
I'm just going to see if I've got the image for Zealot on my computer so I can pop it up in the top right-hand corner. And I haven't. So let me just quickly see if I can. So I want
my thing is not working for some reason.
That's all right. That's all right. I can get it up there. I just need to find it quickly, and then I can pop it on there. Let's have a look. See, this is the joys of technology right here. Look. Let's have a look. I'm scrolling through. And while I'm looking for it, everybody, please feel free to share our interview, because if you share today's interview with Carla, you will get the chance to win some prizes, which is so exciting.
Yes, I'm giving away a completely spoiler inclusive ebook special. It's going to have chapters of Zealot and Lineage in it, as well as original short stories that you will only find in that book. Those short stories will be complete spoilers. I mean, it'll spoil a lot of things for you. So I would suggest reading. I would suggest reading Lineage and Zealot first. Here's Zealot.
Yes, for sure. No, I can't find
backwards.
I can't find it.
I suggest reading those first. And then for people who complete the quiz, I'm giving away 10 actual, there's swag packs. I have the character cards behind me, but it also includes this little pendant. So you see the little...
Oh, that's so cool. That's your logo.
Yes, for the series.
Love that.
It includes some behind the... This is an inside joke between... It includes these bookmarks,
which are gorgeous.
And...
We'll try to place in my office.
Some, I don't have it with me, but I have some book plates that are specific to Zealot I had made.
Fantastic.
And so the whole little pack I'm giving away to 10 people who do the quiz. And
so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the link. Has that gone on?
Thank you, Josephine.
There we go. So I've just shared the link for the quiz. So we want everybody to participate now, because then they can share their results with us and we can have a chat about it. Now it's all connected to do with the Egyptian gods, which plays a major part in your books, because obviously they're the old gods, the Egyptian gods, and there's a whole Egyptian theme, isn't there, revolving around the new company that Nicole works for, which I found absolutely fascinating. I was loving all that, and blood rituals and rites and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was. they had a lot of Egyptian influences in there, which was one of the things that tipped Nicole off. But in Zealot, surprisingly, the Young family has a lot of Greek references with their cult. And I can't give away spoilers, but yeah, so they have a lot of references to Greek mythology, just references and imagery.
See, that makes sense to me because I'm also quite a fan of like ancient aliens and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch stuff and research and read stuff about that, you tend to find that there are a lot of myths that have started so far back that have influenced lots of different other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the Big Flood. I mean, the Big Flood is pretty much written about in every major ancient culture,
mm-hmm.
in different ways. But it's still the same event. It's just been told differently by all these other cultures. So I'm not surprised that you've put a bit of a Greek element in there because, the further back you go, the more you realize that all these religions and gods and everything else are mainly connected.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind when I got into it. I hope everybody can see the quiz. I have put it there. It's very quick, very easy, very fun. So do participate. See if you can do it now and let us know which one you got. I think I got Horus.
Yes.
When I did it, which I was quite pleased about actually. When I read it, it was like, yeah, that's me. Let's have a look, and I'll see if I saved the.
I had quite a few people have Shesmu, and I'm like, yeah.
Really?
Hi, Peggy.
That's interesting. I think I saved it. Did I?
Yes, James. Yes. Tense moments. Trist. Close. Like Kelly said, very close. Very close moments.
Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, and Peggy's joined us as well. Look, Peggy says hello. Hello, Carolyn. Thank you. And Kelly says you all need all of the above button on some of those questions. Yeah. That is so funny. Right. So when I did the quiz, I got Horus. Let me enlarge it so I can actually read it. Hang on a minute, because I haven't got my glasses on. Okay. It says Horus in the Turin Canyon, which provides some of the most important information on Egypt's early history, specifically describes the pre-dynastic rulers of Egypt as followers of Horus. He has a vast representation and is considered to be one of the most important of the gods. He is also known as sky god, son of Isis, god of kingship, and as Ha-Simua. I don't know whether I'm saying that right, or Harsomptus.
Yeah, can't say those words back then.
Horus the Uniter, and I was 80% match. So that was quite interesting for me.
Josephine is 80% match, it looks like, too.
Yes, look at that. Look at that. So if anybody is anything other than Horus, then let us know and tell us what it says, because it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Do you know, I absolutely loved researching about the Egyptians, because the whole way of life is just fascinating.
Yeah,
it really, really is, and how gods came and went, because they had so many different ones, didn't they, depending on which pharaoh was in at the time and which priests had the pharaoh's ear, basically, dependent, that determined which gods they were, praying to at the time. What fascinated you the most, do you think, when you was researching for both books?
How they came up with the gods, because I loved reading about them, but then I always kept thinking, well, how did they come up with this? Because it comes from something,
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like I love how they explain their everyday life through the lenses of the gods, and I also got chills thinking about it, because it's like these people as far back then were spiritual as well as we are today, but they looked at, a plethora of people or gods or deities influencing everyday life, whereas we see one. I said that was always fascinating to me. And I loved their way of life and their decorative way of, making themselves up and writing and their agriculture. And yes, the pyramids are still a mystery because wow. Those
Interestingly enough, and I don't know how many people know this, but there is literally no hieroglyphs left with any mention of the pyramids. No. Literally in stone tablets, on the monuments, on inside walls and tombs. They've literally gone through every single hieroglyph that there is that they've discovered, and there's not one mention of pyramids. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Now, Kelly says she's a 50% match to, is it Shesmu?
Yeah, and that's Jordan Cisco, Kelly.
She says Shesmu is the deity of wine and oil presses with strong bipolar personality who could equally bless or destroy. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like your character. Where is she? There you go, Rachel.
Yes.
Isn't it? All right on the edge. In the Book of the Dead, Shesmu is connected with the nets which capture beings in the afterlife. Interesting. The Book of the Dead also says Shesmu is with you. He gives you the best of the foul. The side of him became primary in the Greco-Roman period. Interesting. She says every single time I take the quiz.
So basically, Kelly, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are.
She says, makes sense because I'm a true Gemini. Very interesting. There we go. And Josephine's also 50% match to Shesmu as well. Oh, and Peggy says she got, how'd you say that? Kanam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You're going to have to pop up what it says, because unfortunately I can't do that because I won't get the search results you do. But yeah, pop up what it says about your match and the description. That would be fantastic. It's so interesting, isn't it? How events and gods and everything else from ancient times still influences now, even to the point of you including it in your book. It's just amazing how these things live on, isn't it? Did you find out anything like really bizarre when you were doing your research?
Not as of yet, because I did cursory research because I was looking for specific things. And recently I decided I'm just going to read every book I have on and some more, because what I learned when I was writing Zealot is I need to keep a lot of cheat sheets because a lot goes on and the world is building.
Yeah.
And everything that they know is going to be challenged moving forward. So I want to read up every single detail and find the things that connect with my story so that I can put those in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's no wonder you're.
And I'm actually finding that, which is actually, it was kind of eerie because I started reading about the gods and I was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly my character. What the, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't know. It's really strange, but
it must sometimes feel like fate that you were supposed to, include all of this, but also it must give you a really sense of pride in that you're researching and your characters are already having those traits. So it must be a great feeling. Wendy said, where is the quiz? And I've just put the quiz link on there in the comments for you again, Wendy. So hopefully you'll be able to see them straight away. Now, Peggy says, Kanum is an important ram god and associated with the Nile and the creation of life. Oh, fascinating. Most often linked to the first cataract. He is said to control the
Inundation.
Of the Nile from the caverns of that region. As a result, this power, along with the protective power of the ram, Canaan, is viewed as a personification of creative force. Wow.
And Peggy, that's interesting. You're an Aries, and Aries is a ram.
Isn't
How
that
interesting?
That is spooky. So we've got an Aries that is connected with the ram. And obviously we've got Kelly who's connected, and she's a Gemini. That is amazing.
Wow.
That is amazing. Wendy says, "Oh, she got Shesmu."
A lot of you like a lot of wine and rage, don't you?
I know. I'm starting to get a bit paranoid because mine was Horus, Horus, and I'm thinking, really? Because I'm a Virgo. I'm a true Virgo. Terrible perfectionist, especially if I'm creating something. I'm my own worst enemy. I really.
Oh my gosh, I find that myself now. I can't turn off the writer now when I'm trying to read. I'm like, well, I would have done this different. I hate that. I hate that.
It ruins the story you're reading. However, there are some books where that just doesn't happen. And the anthology that you did, Beyond the Cogs, I just read it. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It just flowed. Loved every minute of it. And same with Lineage. I just devoured the book. But there have been other books that I've been reading, and like you, I've gone, oh, okay, that needed to be changed a little bit.
Exactly. And I'm like, this is not enjoyable.
But I have to say, everything I've read of yours has just flowed so nicely.
I'm glad, because I'm my worst enemy. I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. This so sucks.
Oh,
but there's nothing I can do about it now.
And editing is the hardest bit, isn't it?
Oh, you know what? I actually like editing. I actually like editing as far as development is concerned. Yeah. Because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I could have sworn I put that in there, and I didn't. So yeah. Kelly, wine and mood swings.
Now, is that it for Nicole? Is that book 1 and book 2, or is there going to be more?
There's 6 more books. There's 6 more books, and I'm working on Tribe now. And then after that's Mutation and Legion. And before Mutation, I'm actually working on I finished a short story, Harbinger, that talks about one of the arcs. And that's going to be in an anthology. Well, hopefully, if they accept my submission, in an anthology before Tribe comes out, or around the time Tribe comes out. And then Legion, and then Vengeance and Chaos. And I originally named the last book Origin, but it's going to be more in line with the word Havoc. So, because that's when all the old ones converge on the island that I have behind me, that Frank drew for me, that I completely made up.
I absolutely love. When you sent me the image of your map, I was blown away. It looks amazing.
Yeah, Kelly did a good job.
It's fantastic. Well done to Kelly, honestly. Kelly also says wine and mood swings. Isn't that all women? She also says when Carla edits her 500 words, it's 1,000.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. When I turned in Zealot, it was 85,000 words. And when the final draft is done, it's 140-some thousand words.
That'll be me though. But the thing is, when you're reading through your draft, especially if you've had a few days break, you then start to notice things that you didn't include, that you should have mentioned, that you should have expanded on a little bit and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, the stuff that you remove is doubled with the stuff that you put back in, because you need to flesh it out a bit and and add all this important information for the reader. But that's so funny. Right, Kelly says, when is Tribe coming out for those of us who have had the pleasure of reading Zealot already?
Tribe is due to the publisher in November this year, so it will be the following year.
Fantastic.
But Kelly, I'll let you read it prior to that.
I can tell how excited she is. And with regards to your editing, she went, told you. Oh my gosh. No, you've been on such a journey. I mean, my gosh, you've gone from Lineage and it's going to be, you're talking about 5 books on. How has it been for you as an author going through this journey with your characters and developing your story and diving even deeper into the research?
It's been hectic.
I can imagine.
I literally have to create a series Bible because in Lineage, I could just wing it because I'm creating the story. In Zealot, I was like, oh my gosh, I had to keep all kinds of notes all over the place because I'm building upon it. And now you have to keep the consistency from one book to the next. But it's also fun because I'm getting to know these people quite a bit. I mean, I already knew them. They came in my head and they were just like there, but the journey is fun with them.
Yeah. I think it's wonderful that you've done your character cards because, for an author and for your readers, because obviously as an author, I think you remember more about your characters if you've got something to go by. Mm-hmm. And I think, having images of your characters or images that depict your characters really, really well is really helpful. And having them on a board next to you in your writing nook, wherever you'd like to write, is great because then you can, okay, what color eyes have they got? Oh, yeah, a quick glance and
Exactly.
But for the readers as well, I love the fact that now I have got these mental images of your characters in my head that fit your description perfectly. And now I feel that like I know them a little bit better, like I've with them a little bit better. And I think they're absolutely fantastic, especially the descriptions and everything as well. And you've got a little quote on them as well. So let me just go back to Nicole, who's your main character, because she's badass. So Nicole is she's 27, she's 5'6", she's Creole, brown hair, hazel eyes, and her quote is, "My part is to walk into a women's empowerment group and hope they don't convince me to join the movement." I think that's brilliant.
That is so her, though. That is so her.
It really is. It's so her. And I love the fact. And I love the fact she's a real woman. I mean, she has a, she shouldn't, but she smokes, and she knows she shouldn't. She likes to drink. She's aware of her own sexual power and her own sexuality, and she's not happy to just settle. She's got a history of starting a job, and if the boss pisses her off or it's a shit company to work for, she'll just leave. But she's a woman who knows what she wants, isn't she?
Yes.
She's very I've got one life, I'm going to live it sort of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. She's a bit of an inspiration, to be honest with you, because I think more of us need to be a bit more like that, don't we?
Yeah.
Forceful. But tell us a bit more about the Young family, because that's a major thing within the books. She starts working for this company, gets introduced to the Young family, and
it's at the church. Actually, she goes to the church, and their whole thing was to find out if the Young family is practicing blood magic. And like I said, Kelly and Candace can attest to this. They went all over the place in this story. That's why I needed cheat sheets, because they went down so many avenues looking for stuff and ended up with more stuff to deal with. And it's like, okay, it's like at one point you're just like screaming with them, like, holy crap. So Gavina Young is the head. Well, technically she is. She's the head of the church. Her husband Boyd is a fixture. Yes, they are psycho, Kelly.
Yes.
And anything else would be a spoiler. But yeah, they're doing a lot of nefarious things. And unfortunately, Nicole gets caught. No matter how much she tries to, she gets caught in their snare. Tries not to, she gets caught in their snare. And part of the reason she gets caught is because of her journey. So I'll leave it with that. But yeah, the Young family, they're not what they appear to be if you go to their church. I mean, you do when you go in there. If you're cynical like me and go into something and you hear someone talking, you're like, this sounds stupid. This person sounds really ridiculous. So you might, but if you're easily duped or manipulated, they seem perfectly normal.
Yeah. So. But again, we come back to Nicole's sixth sense.
She's looking around like, how are they actually following along with this? This is garbage. I mean, it's like literally garbage. And I've always been fascinated with how people succumb to cults. Like, that's one of the things I was researching. I guess because I'm cynical, I continue to look at that. Like, how do you get duped into doing that? But then again, they're looking for people who are vulnerable, who are missing something in their life.
Yeah.
And then they exploit that.
Exactly. And 9 times out of 10, they start off really charming as well. Very charming, gaining them trust and everything else, building up that relationship. And then, because the person becomes more dependent on them, and next thing you know, they're doing whatever they're told to do. It's very, very scary that
it is scary.
There are things like that out there, and it's still very, very prevalent as well. Kelly says, and they make no secret about the fact that they are underhanded. And they take full advantage of your every weakness, no matter how slight.
Yes, they do, Kelly.
Yes, absolutely. Stephanie's joined us. She says,
hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. She's there in New York. She's absolutely fabulous, always. And Kelly says, what was your inspiration for the Youngs, the Church of Scientology?
Actually, no. The Young family, the inspiration was every cult I've ever seen. And honestly, every cult I ever see with a twist, and Kelly knows what I'm talking about, because you do see every cult follows this same thing, this male leader claiming to be the second coming, but sleeping with everyone, including the young girls. And, but I did a little twist with it because it does involve magic, and it does involve a hidden reason why Gavina Young is doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Kelly says, like the wacko in Waco.
Pretty much, yes.
You're absolutely right, though, because you do tend to find it's one man, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. Very charismatic, but narcissistic. A lot of them are just completely psychotic, but they're so highly intelligent. They know how to manipulate other people and get them to follow, and that's just, it's crazy, especially nowadays. Obviously we're more knowledgeable now than we've ever been, and yet this still sort of seems to happen. So your book is so relevant to current day.
Yeah,
it really, really is. It's just amazing. Carla, you are so awesome. I'll tell you, honestly, you are so fun to chat to. Just to remind everybody, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Carla is giving away swag bags. Ooh.
Yes.
And other stuff. So it's so exciting. So all you have to do to participate in the giveaway is share this interview. Literally share it anywhere you want, book clubs or book groups that you're in, on your page. You can share it on other social media apps as well. Make sure you tag either me or Carla or both of us, just so we can keep tabs of who shared what. And the more shares you get, the more entries you get. So share as much as you can. And hopefully we'll win some fantastic swag. It's so exciting.
And everybody who participated or came to the show, please DM your email address to me, because I will send you a behind-the-scenes ebook at the end of April. I'm going to give people time to actually read the other books. So
And you definitely need to read both Lineage and Zealot because they are fantastic.
Zealot will be up tomorrow. So,
you will not be able to put them down. And James says that was a quick hour. Yes, it was. Having fun, I tell you. Carla, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
I love chatting to you always because we always chat like we saw each other yesterday, and yet it can be weeks in between.
And thank you for having me. I had fun. And thank you everybody who came.
It is always a blast. And Kelly says, "Okay, I'm ready now." Thank you everybody for joining in. If you're not watching the show live, don't worry. If you have questions for Carla, just put them in the comments. Carla, if you don't mind, just keeping tabs for the next week or 2 weeks, just to check, see if anybody's asked you any more questions, etc. And we can get back to them. In the meantime, we will be uploading this fabulous interview to all the major podcast platforms as well, and it will be shared on all my other social media as well as Carla's as well. So thank you for joining us for this fantastic interview with Carla. And it's been just a blast.
Yes, it was.
And I can't wait to read everyone's reviews. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. So bye for now, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Don't forget to join us on Thursday for our fantastic interview with Mark Gottlieb, which will be Question Your Query. So if you are an author and you have a query letter and you want to run it by Mark and myself to see whether it's any good, or if you want tips and advice, join us live this Thursday and we can help you out. So,
fun fact, Mark actually helped me with my query for Lineage.
There we go.
2017.
Well, bloody hell, look, see what I'm talking about. We'll see you next time on the Witty Writers